Now that we've gotten all the 250 hoopla out the way, let's talk about what comes next in the United States. There's going to be some major shifts in the next 50 years, which will culminate into the 300th year anniversary of this country. I'm not here to predict what's going to happen at the tricentennial, but I will discuss some shifts that are already taking place, both locally and globally. The first major shift that is happening here locally is the decline of the white population. Since the 1960s, birth rates among whites have declined. However, birth rates amongst blacks, Hispanics, and Asians have risen. In the last century, the Census Bureau predicted that the white population in this country will be the numerical minority in less than 5 decades. The Census Bureau in 2012 officially released their report that by 2045 would be the year of the tipping point where white people will be the numerical minority in this country. One of the reasons why we are seeing aggressive right-wing policies like anti-immigration and anti-abortion is because of the decline of the white population. Now, they may shape it into a political or moral propaganda as something that must be done for the greater good of the whole. But in the end, this is what Dr. Frances Cress Welsing says about why white people practice racism is because of fear of white genetic annihilation. The one-drop rule, which means anybody with an ounce of African blood is considered black. And that is not a rule black people created. Nor did we create the concept of race or racism. But when you create these destructive concepts that bring you power at the expense of marginalizing people you classify as non-white, your demise comes from the system that you invented. And speaking of demise, we'll get into the second big shift that is happening on a global scale. Since the end of World War II, the United States have become a global superpower. Along with the Soviet Union, these two nations influenced global politics for nearly 50 years. When the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, it was the United States that was the sole superpower in the world. However, in the last couple of years, China and Russia has risen out of the ashes and have been labeled rival superpowers with the United States. China especially has rivaled the United States with its technology, economics, and global political influence. The world used to be a unipolar world with the United States on top. Now it is a multipolar world with China and Russia being superpower competitors. And China is a significant player because China is the first non-white global superpower since the Ottoman Empire. The U.S. goes hard against China because China is in the passing lane when it comes to economics. And while China runs a hybrid economic system, its government is still ruled by communists. China is not just a threat to the United States, but to the entire white Western world. It's a country ran by non-white people, by a political system that we claim is a failure. Yet, China is winning and will be the top global superpower in the next 10 years if this keeps up.